I've had a little delivery, and which I'm very happy about. I didn't think I was going to get it till next week, but here it is. So I did open it myself because it's a electronic device, and I wouldn't want to open it up and find something missing or something damaged. But hey, it's here at last, and I must say I'm very, very happy. Well, first of all, we've got a couple of. This clips in the side of the electronic control to hold it into a panel. Okay, that's a pretty normal sort of affair. And this is a little metal hook that you can, screw to your machine, or the box that you have your panel on, or whatever, to hook this. This is a 6-axis controller, all wired up, ready to go. Okay. 6-axis controller. This is a 5-axis unit, and it feels the business. Actually, very pleased with that. So, and it's quite a long cord, So very happy about that. Very good, good cable as well. Very happy. And of course, the main item is very, very well packaged as well. I actually haven't had it out of its plastic yet. Oh, let me get it out. Come on. It's Christmas Day. Okay. So there it is. I can say I haven't actually had it out of its plastic container yet. Look at that. That is a beautiful unit. SMC5-5-N-N. Look, I just like to call it SMC5N, but there it is, and it's quite a big unit, isn't it? It's not a small device. This is a full color 7-inch screen, which is big enough for me to see as well. But there is on the back side. Now I don't know whether this will hook up to a monitor or not. I'll have to have a look at that. But this isn't really complicated at all. This is no more complicated than a Mach 3 or a Mach 4 board. Breakout board or smooth stepper. Same thing. It's set up exactly the same way. This is the XYZ, sort of A, B and C drive outlets. It's just normal thing. 12 volt supply in, ground, so positive negative, secondary ground. In other words, this will supply ground to all the drivers, and it was also supply 5 volts. Okay, so you don't have to have a separate 5 volt supply like you normally would do. This supplies it. And sort of pull direction on all axes. If you don't understand what that means at the moment, you will by the end of this series understand what pull and direction actually means. this plug here, okay, with a million pins in, this is the plug that accepts the manual pulse generator, or the MPG, the hand control. Okay, that's where that plugs in there. So you've got outputs. This one here is the outputs. Okay, these are in. Okay, so what this means is this, you can, if you write it in the G code, okay, and you can actually write G code on this using the front panel. You can, turn things on like your flood coolant or your mist spray. This will actually turn it on for you automatically. If you have it set up that way. And these, when it says inputs and outputs, that's what it means. Actually, inputs, which is this one here, things like limit switches and your probe. Your Z height probe, they all get hooked up in here individually, and it may look complicated, but it really isn't. It's fairly simple if you do things methodically. And the front panel, now, it's a computer. This takes part of, if you were used to using a Mac 3 system, where or a Mac 4, where you have a Windows-based unit and a breakout board in your machine, which these days, if you're talking about Mac 4 or Mac 3 for that matter, it's like $200 to buy the license and get the download for Mac 3 or Mac 4, and then these days you can only use it on that one computer, and further to that, then you've got to buy the breakout board, which can cost $300 to $400 depending on what type you buy. If you buy a good one, it's going to cost you about $400. So to set Mac 4 up these days, it's okay if you've got a computer handy that you're not using, because you shouldn't use it for anything else other than be connected to your machine and not connected to the internet. It's going to cost you $600, $700, $800 US, that is, to get set up for Mac 4. Well, this does it all. This has the computer built into it. It has the program, which is near identical to Mac 4, built into it. It has the smooth stepper board, which is what all this is, right? The interface that connects to the drivers and all the other bits and pieces, on your, VFD. It's all operator VFD if you've got one running. This does it all. This is for a professional machine of types, and I'm sort of talking from the specifications that I have seen online, and looking at the makeup of it, and I haven't seen any bad reports about it, and I've been using an offline controller, much simpler than this one, for over 3 years now, and I've never had it's worked perfectly. It's done everything that I wanted it to do. So I thought, well, let's go the next stage. I don't want to pay $3,000 or $4,000 for a dedicated system, like a Haas would use or something like that. Let's go into the extreme a bit, but I've looked around over the last 2 years. and you know, this is the best one I've found. And look, I'm very happy with it. I haven't switched it on yet, but I'm very happy with the specifications and what I know it will do. Of course, the performance of it, in the specifications of the performance of this will drive, you know, 3D machining. Because a lot of the others, even the professional machines, aren't powerful enough to do it. The memory just won't handle, you know, 3D codes, which is very, very surprising. There's a couple of people that have bought machines. You know, I'm not going to mention exactly who they are, but one Australian in particular in Melbourne, he bought a machine, got in with a company in China, bought a machine, and you know, all intents and purposes, it was it looked a really, really good buy, a good machine. It was still, you know, $27,000 worth, with an automatic tool changer and all this sort of thing. And it would do normal everyday machining, making parts, but it just would not do 3D machining, you know, like you see I do. And I can tell you he was not happy at all, because he purposely asked the manufacturer if the machine was capable of doing what he wanted, and he was told it would. And of course, it just wasn't capable at all. And he's now got a new machine from someone else. So anyway, I can now get started again to make things for this. I haven't done much for the last week or so, because I've had other things to do, and I've been waiting for this actually. So I started this morning to film for this coming weekend. It's Thursday here today, and I started making parts, and they're actually the brackets for the stepper motors, you know, to hook up on here on all the axes. And I cut this material this morning, and I had a message on my phone saying, oh, there was a parcel pickup for me. And so I thought it was this. I was hoping it was this, and of course there it was. So I now have to, you know, finish doing what I'm doing now. It's going to be the next 2 videos of me making, you know, the brackets and fitting this up, fitting the motors on. There's a number of things I've got to do. It might actually be 3 videos, because I've got to do some turning as well. But I've got to turn some adapters to go in here on the end of the stepper motors, which, you know, might be interesting. And so I'll be using the little CNC lathe for that. And then I'm going to start wiring, you know, this up. I plan to make a bench for this to go on, you know, a real good sturdy bench, because I want to use the front, like the front of the bench as an extension of the bed, so I can attach boards to, or planks to, or whatever, and, you know, do dovetails or you know, box joints on. So I've got to make that bench, and then I want to make some sort of box to put this in. Probably I might make it out of an old computer cabinet, but I might make the entire thing. Don't know yet. But I got to make the bench and put this on it and make the box to put this in, and then I will assemble everything in that box, and I'll show you how to wire it up. If you're methodical about doing the wiring and do sort of one section at a time, it's it's no hassle really. It might look daunting with wires all over the place, but really it's not too bad, at all. If you want to have a preview of it, of doing that sort of thing, I did a wiring video on the CNC lathe that I made, and I also did one for the CNC mill that I converted. So the mill is about 4 years ago. And of course the lathe is last year. So if you just want to have a look at those, it'll give you some idea of where we're going with this. Okay. I do notice on this too that it has a PWM, which is pulse width modulator output. So that is normally used with the VFD spindle, but it also has a 0 to 10 volt output for a spindle. So I think I can use that to run this, because I think the input for that on the controller is 0 to 10. So that's going to be interesting to find out. So there's the update